For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most inspirational and downright unforgettable quotes delivered to us by sporting superstars.
You play to win the game.
Number 10. If you can't outplay them, outwork them. Ben Hogan. He was a pioneer in the sport of golf, revered for his contributions to swing mechanics.
Throughout Hogan's career, he always thought that he was at his peak in 1948.
He was known as the complete player, and he had this absolutely gorgeous swing. Today, people are still trying to emulate it.
He also happens to be one of the most dedicated people to ever play the game. This quote doesn't just relate to preparation, but also to the merits of good old-fashioned, hard-nosed hustle on game day.
He could focus in. He would squint at his prey, and he usually took it down.
Sometimes it's not the most technical athlete who wins. It can often be the one who can stand up to the pressure, the player who can swim in the deepest waters. Hogan was a masterful technician at his core, but you don't win 9 majors without having a bulletproof mindset.
Mr. Hogan had his best tournament success after the accident, but he was a much better golfer before the accident.
Number 9. I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall. Serena Williams. The legendary tennis icon gives us a quote that is as relevant to business, art, and relationships as it is to any sport.
Serena Williams, a splendid celebration. That is how you do it.
Serena Williams competed from the late 90s right up to 2022, but in the middle period, she lost a step due to injuries and a natural decline in form. However, like any true champion, she would not quit on herself.
The great Serena Williams!
In 2012, after hitting her stride again, she had a renaissance that saw her carve out yet another chapter of Hall of Fame-worthy success. Dealing with failure is an unavoidable part of sports and life.
Serena Williams, she owns the night here in New York.
Number 8. A champion is someone who gets up when they can't. Jack Dempsey. He fought in a very different time for the sport of boxing, when even the greatest fighters didn't have the types of comforts they do these days.
And he went from place to place just boxing. It's all he could do. That necessity bred a survival instinct that manifested itself in the ring.
Competing in the early 20th century was a tough road. The fact that Dempsey's only knockout loss came in a fight that some historians have called a fix tells you everything you need to know.
Boxing is always looking for figures who generate emotions and passions.
If anyone has the right to utter a quote like this, it's Jack Dempsey. With the exception of Gene Tooney, Dempsey beat every other fighter who held a win over him, proving his ability to pick himself up when things weren't going his way.
He had that steely look, and nothing personified being hard and being able to overcome and be successful more than Jack Dempsey.
Number 7. Somewhere behind the athlete you've become in the hours of practice and the coaches who have pushed you is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her. Mia Hamm. A lot of athletes can lose touch with their love of the game as they climb the ladder.
She put a face not just on women's soccer, but on the sport itself.
As pressure intensifies, sometimes the simple pleasures of the sport become distant. U.S. soccer legend Mia Hamm sums up the most important thing about a career in sport pretty succinctly with this quote.
She was sort of the player that, girls around the country could identify with. She looked like them. She talked like them.
Because at the end of the day, the reason most athletes get into their chosen sport is due to that initial love. That's the fuel that drives them. It's an important message that is as true in this field as it is in any other profession.
It makes you feel good about what you're doing, that you can inspire someone to try a little bit harder, to believe a little bit more in themselves, to dream, bigger than they thought possible.
Number 6. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invisible, inevitable battles inside all of us, that's where it's at. Jesse Owens. He was one of the most important athletes of the 20th century, best known for his 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Aside from just being a ridiculously talented athlete, he also dealt a huge blow to Adolf Hitler's Aryan superiority propaganda machine. Owens had a truly remarkable level of mental toughness, and his ability across several sports showcased that the only limitations are the ones imposed on ourselves. He sums this idea up with a natural flair, making it clear that the real battle is the one that happens inside your own mind. Number 5. I hated every minute of training, but I said don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Muhammad Ali. He told us all exactly how great he was from the second they put a mic in front of him.
I'm the king of the world. Hold it. I'm pretty. Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world.
By the time the dust had settled, he had proven it beyond any doubt. While we all remember his wins over George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, and others, the real fight came during those long, hard sessions in the gym.
His massive self-confidence had been vindicated. He had shaken up the world. And this was only the beginning.
A champion like Ali couldn't afford to take it easy on himself behind closed doors. As he so eloquently put it, all those grueling sessions ensured that he could live for the rest of his days as a legend. The word discipline only scratches the surface when describing his dedication.
I'm in office now, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world, and I don't have to talk no more and say I'm the greatest because people tell me I'm the greatest.
Number 4, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Vince Lombardi. Obstacles are a natural part of life, and no one gets to breeze through without encountering a few hurdles.
One of the things that made America great is to try to be the best in everything that they do. And the best, again, is signified by winning.
Vince Lombardi crossed paths with all manner of athletes during his days as a player and then, in particular, as a coach. Assessing someone's mental toughness was part of Lombardi's day-to-day job, and where he truly earned his stripes was in his ability to instill a positive attitude in his players.
He knew how to get the most out of his players. He was a genius at that.
Losing is inevitable, but sometimes even the most determined and driven athletes need to learn how to deal with defeat. In fact, it's something that many successful people excel at, because there's nothing worse than a promising trajectory being thrown off course by a minor hiccup.
So I don't think there's any difference whether you teach on the football field or whether you teach in the classroom, right? They're both exactly the same. It's a question of a good teacher puts across what he must put across to his pupils.
Number 3, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
MJ. Oh, he did it! And Michael shakes the finger!
Michael Jordan. People tend to gloss over the failures when they speak about GOAT candidates in sports. Michael Jordan may have won 6 NBA championships in his career, but he also made his fair share of mistakes. The perfect performance doesn't exist. Not really.
Stolen by Jordan from Hardaway. Picked him. Bluffs one at the line. They leave him open. Oh, the Bulls are up. Oh, baby. He left jock straps all over the hardwood down here.
MJ understands that his failures made him the player he eventually became, and that if you're aiming to be flawless, you're going to fall short. It's a powerful message, especially for those who consider Jordan to be an almost godlike figure within the sport of basketball.
At the end of the game, you gotta get it out of his hands. He's a killer.
Number 2, for the past 2 weeks, you have been reading about a bad break. Yet today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, Lou Gehrig. When he took to the podium to address the world after being diagnosed with the incurable disease ALS, he knew that his days were numbered.
Lou Gehrig is remembered for dying, is remembered for the disease that took him away, but he was the foremost first baseman of his era and perhaps the foremost first baseman in baseball history.
However, in spite of the future's uncertainty, this legendary baseball player gave us a message of gratitude. He didn't dwell on the negative, instead showing strength in the face of a truly terrible stroke of bad luck.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
He would pass away from the disease 2 years later. This short speech has since been regarded as one of the most important in sporting history. There are very few people who could have stood up to such a bleak situation with that much positivity.
He died far too young, but not before leaving a legacy that would last far into the future. And not before leaving us with one of the most indelible visions of courage any of us have ever seen.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. It is not the size of a man, but the size of his heart that matters. Evander Holyfield, the former world champion, on the importance of an indomitable spirit.
I promised everybody that I was going to win this. I knew the Lord would give me strength. All I had to do is just have courage to go in there and fight the fight regardless of the circumstances.
The only way to prove that you're a good sport is to lose. Ernie Banks. This baseball player explained the importance of humility in a nutshell.
Well hit. Way back. Line drive. It is a home run for Ernie Banks.
People throw stones at you and you convert them into milestones. Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, summed up a positive mindset better than anyone.
There needs no comparison to Sachin Tendulkar. He is the ultimate cricketer.
You win a few, you lose a few. Some get rained out, but you got to dress for all of them. Satchel Paige. He outlines the importance of showing up in spite of it all.
Leroy Satchel Paige was a legendary storyteller and one of the most entertaining pitchers in baseball history.
Champions keep playing until they get it right. Billie Jean King. The all-time tennis great had a simple assessment of what it takes to be the best.
In a stellar career that spanned more than 25 years, Billie Jean King collected an impressive 39 Grand Slam titles, including 13 here at the U.S. Open.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. Is there a more poignant line in all of sports than this absolute bullseye from the great Wayne Gretzky?
The average guy in the league thinks one play ahead. The superstars think 2 plays ahead. And Gretzky thinks 3 plays ahead.
This is a quote that is not only relevant to the world of sports, but to life in general. Gretzky surely knows a thing or two about doubt and how to overcome it, and in this one line, he sums up how success is utterly impossible without taking that first step.
Gretzky literally rewrote the NHL record book. He's the all-time leader in both points and goals.
Athletes who have achieved what he has possess a level of mental strength that goes far beyond the average person. We're certain that Gretzky has inspired more than a few people to pursue their own dreams on the strength of his one quote alone.
Gretzky is the Babe Ruth of his sport. Gretzky as an individual stood above his contemporaries to an even greater extent than did Michael Jordan.
What's your favorite quote of all time? Let us know in the comments below.